She said she needed space, so I stopped holding on.
She texted me saying she needed space. I replied that space can heal, but only when honesty stays. She then said she felt overwhelmed by us. I asked her what changed so suddenly. She wrote back she needed a break. I had to ask, what does a break even mean to you? She just avoided the question entirely. So I waited, choosing not to push her. Then she said she felt lost. I replied that getting lost often starts with turning away from the path you're on. She told me I was reading too much into it. I answered that patterns speak much louder than words ever could. Then came the accusation. I was being dramatic. I just said, drama fades when the truth appears. She went silent for a while after that, a long while. Then she asked, "Do you trust me?" I replied that trust needs a direction, a clear path to follow. She said I was suffocating her. I told her boundaries are not cages. They're meant to protect, not imprison. She said she wanted freedom. I asked, freedom from what exactly? She said from expectations. I replied that commitment naturally carries expectations. It's part of the deal? She then admitted that maybe commitment scared her now. I felt my chest tighten reading that line. I had to ask the hard question, is there someone else easing that fear for you? She took a very long time to respond. Then, the words appeared on my screen. Her ex had moved back to town. I thanked her for finally being clear. She quickly added that nothing had happened yet. I replied that the word yet speaks volumes. It's a promise of something to come. She accused me of assuming the worst. I said that honesty is what prevents assumptions in the first place. She said she needed time to think. I told her that time has a way of revealing our true priorities. She asked if I was giving her an ultimatum. I replied that I wasn't giving her anything. I was choosing self-respect for myself. She then said I had been cold lately. I explained that calm often follows deep disappointment. She typed that she didn't expect this reaction from me. I replied that clarity often surprises people who are used to confusion. She said she felt judged. I answered that our choices naturally invite judgment from others. That's just life. Then came the classic line. She wanted to stay friends. I told her that friendship can't be a substitute for the commitment we had. It's not a consolation prize. She asked if I hated her. I replied that hate requires an attachment I no longer felt. She grew defensive, saying I was the one pushing her away. I told her that distance only grows where truth shrinks. She insisted the break would help her decide. I replied that real love rarely needs breaks to figure itself out. She said people change. I agreed and added that our values are what reveal that change. Then she asked the question I was dreading, will you wait for me? I said that waiting without trust is just a slow, painful way to hurt yourself. She typed that I was being unfair. I replied that fairness always begins with honesty. She went quiet again. A little later, a photo appeared in the chat. It was a picture of packed bags. I just wished her safety on her journey. She asked, is that all you have to say? I said that peace requires simplicity. There wasn't much more to add. She said she never planned to hurt me. I replied that good intentions don't erase the impact of our actions. Then she accused me of giving up too easily. I said I stayed much longer than clarity advised me to. She told me she felt empty. I replied that emptiness is what follows a divided heart. She asked if there was still hope for us. I said that hope can only survive where honesty lives. She said she needed to leave that night. I told her to take whatever she needed. As she stood hesitating at the door, she said she would miss me. I replied that missing is what comes after a loss has already happened. She asked if I would message her later. I said that silence would probably help us both find some peace. She left without another word. The room felt quieter than it ever had before. I opened our chat and just stared at the last message. Instead of replying, I archived the entire conversation. My phone felt so much lighter in my hand. I sat down on the couch and just breathed deeply. In and out, the break she wanted had become an ending. And in that moment, I realized something profound. Peace doesn't argue. It doesn't fight or plead. It simply stays. Outside, the night was calm. Inside, my thoughts slowly began to settle. I didn't feel angry anymore. I just felt finished. The story ended not with a shout, but with the quiet hum of clarity. It was a painful ending, but it was a true one. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. Thanks for listening. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more.